welcome back to my film and TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. We're going over to Netflix today, and as I'm recording this, Halloween is, a few days away, about 3 weeks away, something like that. So obviously there's a few little supernatural horror films coming on. Although I must admit, when I started to watch this, I had no idea it was based on a Stephen King book, which is a sort of supernatural horror. So very interesting. We're going to have a look at Mr. Harrigan's phone today. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. All things film and TV reviews and information blogs. It'd be great to have you on board. It'd be great to have all your comments. And it'd be great if you can just give us a little thumbs up, guys. It's great to get views, but thumbs ups, you know what it's like if you're on Twitter or YouTube yourselves. It's just nice to get thumbs up. It's nice to be well appreciated in a way. Yes, so if you can do that, I try and inform and entertain, of course. Right, Mr. Harrigan's phone, yeah. Horror film, classed as. I would sort of cast a little bit of doubt on that as straightforward horror. Written and directed by John Lee Hancock, based on the novella of the same name by Stephen King from a collection, If It Bleeds. Yes, you read If It Bleeds. Stars Donald Sutherland, Jaden Martell, Kirby Howell-Baptiste, Joe Tippett, Cyrus Arnold and Carl Zohan, amongst one or two others. The audience are okay on it, actually. The audience are okay, the critics not so much. The Rotten Tomatoes audience, it's 3.4 out of 5, so that takes it to 6.8 out of 10. Internet Movie Database, 6 out of 10, which is okay. My little score, I like to see a watchable score, 6 out of 10. And if you delve deeper into that, excuse me guys, a bit of a cold at the moment. If you dive deeper into that, obviously there's a few 10 out of 10s, which you ignore, and 1 out of 10s. 1,310 people scored it between 6 and 9, and 565 people scored it between 2 and 5. So you're talking a 70% positivity, so that's all well and good. It was released on Netflix on October the 5th, 2022. Rotten Tomatoes critics, well, we've seen what the audience think. What about the critics themselves? Well, they don't like it. 31% positivity, very low. Getting an average rating of just 5.1 out of 10. 9 fresh, but 21 rotten. Very, very low. Metascore, the other critic site we look at, Metacritic, Metascore, scores anywhere between 33 and 8 out of 100. There's only 10 critics, but it's only getting about 51% positivity. So again, as I said, the critics are a bit more down on it than the public. What's it about? It's about a boy named Craig who befriends the elderly Mr. Harrigan and gives him a cell phone. When Mr. Harrigan dies, excuse me, sorry guys about this. Craig begins to make calls to his old number about those who torment him, only to find that doing so results in Mr. Harrigan's spirit avenging his young friend from beyond the grave through the iPhone that was buried with him. There you go. So let's have a look at the critics and what they've been saying and what they've actually, let's name and shame or name and blame. Bill Goody Kuntz, there's a great name. Mr. Kuntz is a horror writer, isn't he? Arizona Republic wrote, as with the greatest King stories, the best parts here are not the horror elements, of which there are few, it's the time spent with the characters. Good point. As I said, it's not really straightforward horror, this. It could have been, perhaps if it had been played more horror, it would have been slightly better. But anyway, we'll give you my little views. Randy Myers, you'll know my views as we're going through these. Randy Myers, San Jose Mercury News said, it won't keep you up at night, it won't. But it's a solid and surprisingly poignant effort. Yes, it is. And I do need my beauty sleep, so I didn't want to be kept up all night either. Brian Tellerico from RogerEbbett.com said, an early engaging performance from the great Donald Sutherland and a consistently grounded one from Jaden Martell keep Mr. Harrigan's phone from completely going dead, but you're going to want to send this one to voicemail. Okay, well, keep your horror expectations fairly low, and I'll take the message. So I'm happy with that. Frank Scheck, Hollywood Reporter, said, unfortunately, despite its intriguing premise, Mr. Harrigan's phone lacks a necessary ingredient to make it fully memorable. It simply isn't very scary. No, it's not scary. But they may have missed a trick there, but I didn't know it was supposed to be scary, so I'll come at it from a slightly different angle. The AV Club's Courtney Howard said, though its narrative contains some subtleties and Hancock's aesthetic polish give it a nice gloss, the picture's pacing and character-driven momentum frequently splutters, ultimately leading to diminished results. Again, good point, but for me, not a total disaster as far as I looked at this as a coming-of-age drama with a slight supernatural bent, and that's how I started watching this, thinking that's what it was. Collider's Marco Vito Odo said, despite its flaws, Mr. Harrigan's film remains a careful adaptation of one of King's most touching stories to date. And while there are not many frights in this horror movie, it remains a solid entry of Netflix's enviable collection of King's adaptations. Okay. Yeah, my little thoughts before we go, my little summing up. I've obviously let you know what I thought as we're going through there. I'm going to score this 6.5 out of 10. I like this. I like this on the basis I didn't know it was supposed to be a horror. And as such, I quite liked it because I thought, oh, that's quite quirky when these little things were happening. It's quite, for me, it was quite old-fashioned in style, as some of perhaps Stephen King's early film adaptations, if you go back to the 80s and 90s. Sort of quirky in that sort of way for me. Although, as I said, calling it a horror is pushing it just a little bit because it didn't really sort of present that very well. Not in the film. It could have been done in a more convincing horror way, and I think it could have certainly a bit more. Oh, what sort of scenes? Obviously you've got a budget to make these things, and just a little bit more emphasis on the horror and how these people died, rather than just showing the body and obviously the build up to the deaths, etc. You would get quite a quirky little horror film, but you just don't get that. It's all done after the event, if you like. So it sort of does let it down just a little bit. So for me, as a coming of age supernatural quirky story drama, it works. As an outright horror, perhaps not, and I think that's why it's scoring so badly, especially from the critics. But a lot of the public get it, and I got it, and it's great seeing Sutherland, of course. And I thought the story was pretty good. Stephen King, not always my favourite. I used to read a lot of Stephen King. I got a bit fed up with him. Got a bit too wordy for me and uninteresting. Nothing ever happened. Yeah, just a good, quirky, supernatural drama, and look at it than that rather than a straightforward horror film. And I think you'll be okay. And it's Netflix; it's part of your subscription if you pay a subscription. So, given some of the dross on there, that's fine by me. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, it'd be great to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Until we meet again, I might get rid of this cold eventually. Until we meet again, thanks for watching, and please stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.